There is one specific thing that I like about Cloudflare that makes it completely different from other platforms, and that is the ability to have worker bindings. That means that you can expose a lot of services of Cloudflare without actually leaking your API keys. Let's talk about what that exactly is, how does that work, and what are the drawbacks of using Cloudflare alongside the benefits. I have a lot to discuss in this video based on my experience, so let's get into it. Let me actually tell you about what I'm talking about. So we have Cloudflare over here as an entity, AWS, we have Google Cloud, Vercel. So these are like bunch of options which are available for you to deploy. Obviously, there are more options like Railway, DigitalOcean, and a bunch of more providers. But the core idea is that almost none of these platforms actually provide something which I like about Cloudflare, which is the bindings part. Now, what this binding is that technically speaking, if you are writing sort of like a Cloudflare worker, right? A worker is just a JavaScript code which executes on server. So this code over here has access to a bunch of Cloudflare services. Notably, the ones that I know are AI, emails, KV, Cloudflare R2, headless browser, and a bunch of more things as Cloudflare is releasing them. Now, the interesting thing here is that in order to get access to them, even like one thing which I'm using recently is Hyperdrive, which is the ability to connect to your database. The core idea here is that none of these services, in order to access them in local or in production, actually requires you to have any sort of API key. So basically, no API key is the real advantage here for a couple of reasons. First of all, everything is provisioned under one platform, which is Cloudflare. So they control all parts of billing. But second of all, these bindings allow your worker to access anything without actually having API keys exposed or any sort of security loophole, because these bindings are also not accessible outside the worker. So it's literally not possible for agents to make mistakes that results in your infrastructure getting hacked by hackers. And I have seen this structure nowhere close in terms of breadth on Vercel, on AWS, on Google Cloud, on any of the cloud providers. Some of them do offer some sort of variance, but it's not as comprehensive and elaborate as Cloudflare's services. And of course, this is a video not sponsored by them. I actually use Cloudflare for a lot of services, so I like this behavior a lot. And this is coming from my own experience of working with Cloudflare and AI agents. Let me actually show you exactly like how this works and how simple this is to pull off. For this video, I'm using Willow Voice to write everything that you're seeing on the screen because it's the best way for you to do voice to text. And this is especially useful if you're doing a lot of prompting, but you don't want to type everything you want. It's super simple to get started with Willow Voice. All you have to do is click my link in the description, download it for free, and follow along the setup. And once you're done, you will see an icon, something like this at the bottom of your screen in every app. And all you have to do is just start speaking. Hi Claude, today I want to create a full stack application using Cloudflare workers that uses bindings a lot. So I don't want to expose any API keys. Tell me everything that is possible with Cloudflare bindings and how can I create this full stack application. I'll talk about my idea in a while. So as you can see, I got the full text over here, including the formatting, right? So it automatically did like this 2-space paragraph, 2-line paragraph thing. So you can use Willow Voice for emails, for actually writing content on social media, anything where you prefer to use your voice. Let's go ahead and see what's going on here. So as you can see, Claude gave me a much more exhaustive list of services, which includes D1, KV, R2, durable objects, something I missed, Hyperdrive, Vectorize, Cache API as well, queues, workflows, AI gateways, browser rendering, emails, a lot of interesting things. And specifically, I feel like if you're building a full stack app, emails is very important. Browser rendering if you're doing any sort of screenshots and stuff. AI gateway is super interesting because it also has sort of like a free tier, Workers AI and AI gateway both. And of course, D1 if you're using like SQLite and so on. And Hyperdrive is super useful. I use this all the time with external databases. Like if you have a database on PlanetScale, you can use Hyperdrive to connect it with Workers. So now basically you can build a full stack app by just prompting, and your AI, if it has access to Wrangler CLI, it would be able to not only just build the app, but also provision every single resource with just your prompt and your voice. So to give you an example, I don't want to discuss more about this website, but this is a new product. This is a new project that I'm launching very soon. It's still something that I'm building right now. But this is a Monitor YouTube project. And this involves a lot of these components, including Hyperdrive, including KV, including R2, including browser rendering. And a lot of this is actually deployed on Cloudflare directly. This is something I have not launched yet, so you will hear about this more from me soon. But I've built this basically using the Cloudflare stack. All right, thanks for the information, Claude. Now, since Cloudflare basically supports everything we need, Can you tell me if it is possible to build a social media post scheduler which allows people to schedule posts on a specific time, and then it uses a headless browser to post it on their behalf on the credentials that they have already shared? If yes, just let me know the architecture and the decisions that you will take before moving forward to work. Also, I would want to have a pro plan in this application that comes with a $10 plan linked with Stripe, which allows people to schedule unlimited posts, and the free plan, I want it to be limited to just 5 posts scheduled. And I mean, can you believe that in 2026 this is all you have to do in order to build a SaaS, right? Of course, like marketing and making it popular with users, and of course, like fixing edge cases and stuff is still a big work, but this is all you have to do in order to build a SaaS, which used to be a lot of work, let's be honest, right? So if it was not really possible for non-technical folks to build something like this at all. And even for technical people, it'll take you a lot of time, especially if you have a job, you have like a main thing going on and you want to build something on the side. Now, this is all you have to do. And with Willow, which is today's sponsor, you also don't have to like write anything. You just have to speak. And as you can see, it answers me, yes, every piece maps cleanly to Cloudflare bindings. But before I write a line of code, I want to be straight with you about the part headless browser posting with stored passwords. So again, like obviously, like it's pushing you towards like this is not really right, and it violates terms of service. But I'm just giving you an example, right? You might as well just build this app only for yourself. So again, like it has started asking me questions. I don't want to build this app in the first place, but I just wanted to show you how easy it is. Now, with that being said, I do know that there are actually drawbacks of Cloudflare as well. First of all, if you look at headless browsing, this is actually costly. Until and unless your workload is not super small, like you're not doing a lot of headless screenshots or browsing at all, this would come out as a little bit costly. Because if you look at the browser run costing, it comes out to be 9 cents per additional hours, and it's $2 per additional browser in terms of concurrency, right? So even if we just consider this 9 cents as a real cost, that's over $60 in a month for running a browser continuously. And you can run a browser on basically an EC2 machine for a few dollars as well, right? And if you go to Hertzner or any of the cloud providers, you can run it for even less. But the advantage obviously here is that you're getting a serverless browser, right? So you don't have the infrastructure to manage. Second of all, without a doubt, this is a huge vendor lock-in, right? Whether you like it or not, but this is something that you would not be able to take out of Cloudflare very easily once you have accustomed to hyperdrive and email binding and AI and all of that. Decoupling them into different services is actually going to be hard. Of course, your AI agent can do that for you, but still, this is something that binds you into Cloudflare's ecosystem. And third, of course, if you need anything specific, like if you're running any sort of Rust code or something that cannot be compiled down to WebAssembly and run on Cloudflare workers, or something which has huge size, this cannot run on Cloudflare, right? So if you're running any sort of module which is custom, you'll have to spin up a machine, you'll have to do something outside of this ecosystem. But overall, what I strongly feel is that whatever you possibly can comfortably run in Cloudflare, chances are, very high chances are, my recommendation is that you should, because it's probably one of the best cloud providers out there for the cost that it gives you. It has its own quirks. There are problems that I have faced with Cloudflare as well, with R2 buckets, specifically on the latency side and stuff. So I would reevaluate this whole thing if you're doing anything mission critical with a specific part. But broadly, overall, if you're building fun software, micro SaaS, platforms to sell, this probably is a good enough stack to start with. So that's all for this video. Hopefully you liked it. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Do check out Willow Voice for a seamless way to just speak to your computer and get everything done. All the links are in the description, and I'm going to see you in the next video very soon. If you're still watching, make sure you leave a comment, "I watched till the end" below to tell me that you were still here, and let me know what do you think about the video.